Hello. There we go. All right. Get that down a little bit here. Cool. Yeah, I've been looking for original weirdcore albums and dreamcore albums. I've been finding some pretty cool ones because, like, there's always the same playlists like that you can find with like the same songs, and some of them are cool, but there's a few artists out there that do like their own sort of um like dreamcore liminal kind of weird core shit. Um so I enjoy it thoroughly. It's pretty cool to see people do their own compositions and everything. They don't get a lot of following. A lot of the playlist channels get like way more following than uh, any kind of original artists that try to kind of replicate that style or feed into that newer zoomer filled genre. But I enjoy it quite a bit. Most of it is like a little bit of melancholy, a little bit of relaxing. um just varies. This one's a little more just calming, atmospheric, with a little bit of tinge of oddness woven into it. But yeah. Let's see here. Hi there, Trudy. Good to see you. How are things in down under and in DID land? How are things? All right. Gator Dog, hello. Didn't know there's 44 of you. It means that there's 43 other Gator Dogs. That's actually a pretty low number for a name that I would assume wouldn't be that difficult to get. I mean, that would, yeah. I feel like they'd probably be pretty used. Gator Dog. I don't know. It just sounds like something you would see in a like early 90s skate video. Or it sounds like a skateboard brand. Something like that, like a skateboard brand. They always have silly names like that. But still alive. That's good, Trudy. Let's try to keep it that way. All right, that would be great. Okay, so today we're gonna get into something more akin to the stuff I'm involved in, because that's what I sort of put together for this latest question. For those that don't know, usually I stream this particular stream on Saturdays. I'm doing it on Sunday because there was family stuff and events happening Saturday, so then I sometimes have to move it over to Sunday because of that reason. Usually what I do on the weekend stream is I have a certain topic in mind that in the middle of the week I post a question on the server, and then people answered it, and then I read those answers, but I don't say the usernames or anything, and it goes into an inbox that basically I only have access to. So yeah, pretty interesting, at least for some, I'm guessing. Outside of that, I usually start by updating you guys that sometimes are interested in a couple of things. Let's see here. What has happened that's interesting? Nothing really. Meds haven't changed. I think the side effects for the Strattera or Straterum or whatever the hell it's called, ADHD medication, seems to be finally sort of flattening out. So that's good. Didn't see any pings, but I was already on YouTube. Saw you live. Oh, there should have been a ping. Joe Mama. I'm pretty sure I pinged it, unless I was wrong and crazy, which is possible, but I'm fairly sure I did. I assumed I did because there's actually like 10 people watching total right now, and that's quite a bit for like the first 10 to 15 minutes. Usually it takes a little while before number starts going up. Discord didn't notify you. Oh, you know what? Let's yeah, there might be a reason for that. I'm not too sure. That's interesting. Just in case, let me go ahead and just ping it again. Hopefully it doesn't piss anyone off, but whatever. Da, 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 da. Do. Okay. Okay, well, there we go. All right, perfect. Let's see here. All right, that's done. But yeah, meds are working fine. Stuff's working fine. I have a friend of mine that is going through a significantly unhappy period right now, so I've been talking to them. Hopefully they're okay. Hopefully they're doing better right now. There's just, when people kind of go through stuff, especially when they're not people, when it's people that kind of just handle their own thing and don't want to like burden others and stuff. It's really hard to tell how good or bad things are sometimes. All right, and then let me see here. What do I have? What do I have? Oh, hey there, Shadow.
Morning.
Cool. Morning. So
just in case you ever forget, I'm the Joe Mama guy.
Oh, it's more fun if I don't know. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, but you'll forget again, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. I will. Okay. So what I'm discussing today is a particular question I asked, and it's more, I'll be honest, it's partially because I just wanted to see what people would say about, I don't think I've ever like asked this question before, at least like to the people on the server. Some have mentioned stuff like this when I've felt as if I wasn't doing anything really of any use to anyone. You know, all those nice depression spiral action stuff. But I've never actually, I don't think I don't remember ever actually asking myself. And then basically queuing for like a response for it. Okay. So, where is it? There it is. Okay, so this is the question I had asked on the 16th. So that was about a few days ago. I asked this. Said, what has the Zoivoid, which is the server, or schizoids and all that, been able to help you do, collect info on, connect to, feel, improve, even slightly, or facilitate for you? I just want to see of what use this has been on an individual perspective level. So that's what I asked. I wanted to know if anybody could give me some input on what they've experienced, positive, negative, or whatever's happened, whatever they want to share about their time. I know there's been people that have been on the server for like a good while, sometimes a year, 2 years even. I think the server's hitting year number, I don't even know yet. I think it might be hitting year number 3 soon, or already has. I don't know. I'm terrible at keeping track. But in any case, we've had a lot of applications. We had a lot of people joining. It's kind of interesting because like it's most of the time like it'll cycle who's like really talking a lot or messaging or on VC and stuff, and then like some people disappear, some people come back. It's pretty just normal for that to be occurring. But what's interesting is that even though the and this is something that many people, unless you're like a mod or a dev for the server, you won't know. But unless you're really paying attention to the number going up over time, I'm pretty sure Shadow has noticed. But yeah, we regularly get applications. Like we get a few a day sometimes. Like it'll be like 3, maybe 4.
What? I'm sorry. What am I noticing?
No, that number go up of Zoids actually passing through and applying.
I never look at that number.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. You pay attention to random shit. No, because it's at the top. It's listed at the top for everyone to see. So
I don't.
Yeah. Anyway,
last time I checked, it was like 380.
Well, it's 531 right now. So, but point is, yeah, we get like 2 or 3 applications a day to join. I would say like three out of four usually are people that can get in. Sometimes we just get people that are, I don't know, in some other stage of their life or confused, or they say they have like a bunch of other stuff, and or they just didn't really explain anything, and they're just kind of like regurgitating the ICD DSM stuff, which is we ask in the application to please specify a little bit more how your experience is, what your experience is like with the negative symptoms of having schizoid or believing that that's the case. We ask if you're diagnosed or not. That's not a make or break either. But point is, it's a lot of stuff, right? And I spaced. Hold on. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of people joining all the time, but most of them don't say anything. So I would say like 80% of the people even actively using the server are just lurking, right? Because
and like 1% of them are degenerates that speak way too much, and I'm one of them.
Yeah, well, it's okay. I'm sure the lurkers are having a good time cringing or enjoying the wackiness by proxy. I have no idea how they feel about any of it because they don't express any of that. They just join, and then they just hang out in here, and they just either, I don't know if they left. Well, they didn't leave because they stay in the server, right? That's what's so strange. Like, we have a lot of people joining the server. We don't have that many people leaving it, but even though we keep getting more people, the amount of traffic, as far as like the amount of actual people talking and chatting, doesn't fluctuate like a crazy amount. And it's really funny too, because like I don't think anybody on the server gives a shit about who says what. I mean, who speaks or who doesn't, or if a new person joins and they just start chiming in on a conversation. I feel like most of the time, most of the people on the server won't skip a beat. They'll just kind of like, okay, look, it's a person. Now they're saying the thing. And they'll just kind of keep going.
Something to engage with.
Yeah, something novel. Oh, look, a novel person, like a new person, maybe, that will have something, and then whatever. Anyway, so, what is this? Oh, yeah. So that's the question I asked, and I wanted to know what people thought. So I am going to go ahead and start so that I don't do what I did last time where I started talking to Shadow and whoever else was on, and then I didn't get to any of the stuff till like the very end, which I know that some of the people watching the VOD or listening right now are probably sometimes the same people that submitted, so you probably want me to see to it. Hold on. I'm not in the void for obvious reasons. I can tend to being too involved, like in the usual group human ways. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear, Trudy. Feeling a little more associated than otherwise. Okay. So let me get started here. And you're more than welcome to chime in on any of this, Shadow, or anybody else that wants to jump on as I travel down this silly road. Okay. Where are we? All right, let me switch over here. There we go. Okay, and I am going to start by reading the first one. And this is in regards to people telling me what the server has meant to them, I guess, or you know, I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to say about it, but I'm gonna see. Okay. And here we go. Okay. Dear Angst. Early on, I was on the channel to find answers and learn that I am not alone in this. I've learned as much as I need to, and now I'm here for community of laid-back people. Just doing what regular people do, I guess, sharing hobbies, interests, and memes. I like that I can dip in and out, and people don't expect me to be engaged. Maybe it's like that in most online communities, but I wouldn't know. I didn't really join anywhere else. I don't know. I don't know that it's like that. Sorry, I got a damn hair in my mouth. Anyway, I don't know that it's like that in most communities, only because I've been in a bunch of different servers.
Well, I mean, online communities, it's like, who's gonna fucking socially enforce you to want to be there?
That's, dude. you don't understand how often that kind of does happen. Because
Really?
I've joined a lot of like servers just to check them out. Like I clicked on like because like sometimes certain game devs, I'm into a lot of indie games and stuff, and they'll have their own server and stuff for like their small studio or development whatever, or like for some kind of other project or something. Like there's like a Discord server for fucking all kinds of shit, and some of them are a lot bigger than others, whatever. But yeah, like there's a lot of stuff that does form in a lot of servers that I don't really see happen too much in this one, which is like uh though a long time ago somebody claimed it was happening, and I'm like, yeah, I see no evidence of it. But like these weird little like I guess they call them like
Clicks?
clicks, yeah. Like where people like, oh, oh, this is where we hang out. Like, who's this new person? Or you have to like essentially like you get not as
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
nothing as bad as like hazed or anything. In some places, I mean, yeah, it does occur, but those are mostly like the shit posting ones. But there is like a sort of weird like social hierarchy that develops pretty naturally in some of these servers, like people that basically are considered the people that everyone likes and are not as questioned as often, or people kind of like white knight for um, when they're challenged on something or an opinion, or there'll be like this kind of consensus opinion about like
Oh, I know what you mean, only because I was able to compare, like, whenever you would post somewhere on the Discord, I don't get that feeling of, oh, the owner's here, kind of sit up
yeah.
straighter,
No,
I
if
don't get
anything, they
that
just
feeling.
clown on me. They just make fun of me and ignore
Yeah.
me, which is pretty funny. Um,
So I get what you mean now.
but they'll just be like this weird stuff, like, well, you'll join and you'll just be like, oh, like you'll join a VC. I've done it before, and then I'm like listening to the conversation that they're having, and they might say something interesting, and then I'll try to chime in. I'll be like, oh, okay, well, what about this point? Or have you guys ever talked about this? And
And
then
then they're all just like, shut the fuck up, peanut gallery!
well, they don't say that, but they do say stuff like, "Oh, hey, look, it's new person. Oh, hey, what are you doing here, new person? What brings you here?" And all, and I'm like,
Oh, that's already making...
and I'm like, no, but it's just weird. I guess that's normal, friendly shit or whatever. But like, it's annoying because like I asked a question because I want to just engage with the convo, and then they want me to like introduce myself and stuff.
Ew.
The
It's so gross.
the worst question I usually ask anybody that's new, I'll just be like, wait, have you been here before? And then they'll be like, no or yes, and I'll be like, oh, okay, because I forget people all the time. So
Yeah,
like,
because the reason why you're asking is, have I seen you before?
yeah,
Have we talked?
because then if they tell me, oh yeah, we talked about this, then like all my memories will come back about that conversation.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to
But
like
you,
know, so I don't repeat myself again about something.
yeah, it's not because necessarily you
I don't.
like give a shit about them personally. It's just like,
I
hey,
mean, not really.
like, give me like a 3-second refresher on
Yeah,
who you
like,
are.
and if you're new and never been here, that's fun for me because then I'm like, oh, novelty. Like I haven't talked to this person.
Oh, some new person
New
I
person.
can use as. I'm not going to continue that.
Well, I'm not gonna use them, but it is. I like having conversations.
Content.
No, not like that. It's
That's
usually
where
not
your
even.
brain goes.
No, not at all. I mean, if they join.
No. Not because like you want to use them on your stream as content, but
Oh,
your
you
brain
mean
is
like
just like, oh, content.
internal world content? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like ADHD.
Yeah,
Like,
content. Well, novelty. I like to say novelty. It'll be like novelty. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm a Zoomer, so content.
Content. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, I've joined servers and that'll happen a lot, and it's like, ugh. And sometimes I'll just be like, I'll just dip out. I'll be like, I don't want to deal. I don't want to explain all this shit again. Or they'll ask me about something, and then like because a lot of people they'll be talking about mental health stuff or something like that, and then I'll just like mention some stuff, and they're like, then they ask me about like my shit, and then I'm like, and then I hate it because if I tell them about like my server or anything, then they like start asking me a million questions about it, and then I'm like, yeah, I mean, yeah, and then I don't know, and then like people start like debating me on like what I'm doing, working on, and I'm just like, that's not what the original conversation was about. Like, and it just turns into this
It's
weird
just like, oh, what's your
interrogation.
stuff? Oh, this is like a little bit of my stuff. Oh, is it really your stuff?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know. It just turns into
bro,
this
what are you
weird.
doing?
And then there's always like a handful of people that are really like socially aggressive in like hostile ways, and then it'll be weird because like that socially aggressive person will be like, oh, who the fuck is this new person, blah blah blah, and I'll just be like, oh yeah, that's fine. And then they'll be like, oh, don't mind them, they're always like that, it's fine, it's just Jimmy or whatever, he's kind of a dick. And I'm like, okay, like, and I'm already bored
Like,
at this point.
everything you're saying is so true, and I just forgot about it because I talk with Zoids more often than I talk with normal people.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't see that kind of stuff on the server, and it's really funny because like that's kind of why I just kind of stick to my own server, because like I'll go places just to investigate stuff, and I have a few servers I've joined just to like read, but I just lurk most of the time,
Yeah.
and because anytime I try to engage, like there's all this weird shit. Even this even happens in like even some of like the TISM servers, but I have theories as to why that happens in like some of the neurodivergency servers on Discord. I have a feeling is that because part of it is like that there are people there that are just they don't even necessarily relate to the stuff in there. They're just looking for some place where like people are nice and safe, and then they still end up being like the most socially competent among the people there, and so they still tend to like climb up this social hierarchy that they created and enforced. And then a lot of the autists will just be like, oh, okay, that's just what happens here, this is normal, this is the person that does this thing, and whatever. And then it gets into a really strange place. They'll start using like their identity stuff and labels to like bully people, and just shut people down when they try to like present an idea that might run contrary to theirs. Like a lot of just weird shit, like schizoid curiosity and devil's advocacy, and questioning of narratives is not really welcome in a lot of servers. And yeah. But point is, I went off the deep end there. Let me go ahead and go to the next one here, and I'll go to the next one. What do I got? Oh, hey, Olivia, nice to have you. By the way, if you want to chime in on any of this, you're again more than welcome to.
Yeah, hi.
All right. Do you traverse a lot of other servers of other stuff or no? Like maybe music ones or anything like that?
Who, me or anyone?
No, yeah, no. I already know everything about fucking Shadow. I don't know. You, Olivia, do you use Discord
You
for
don't know
anything
anything
else?
about me. I'm a stranger.
Yeah.
Never met me
You
a
don't
day in
stop
my life.
talking about yourself anyway. So, no, Olivia, do you join any other servers, or is this like the only one, or there's a few?
I think it's the only one now. I were on a couple of other servers, but they kicked me off.
Oh man, would you mind sharing a little bit as to why? Is it any of the stuff that I was talking about?
I don't know. I didn't hear. I'm not sure I was here for the whole combo, but it was
like the social aspects, or the weird click things, or like you questioning like the narratives that there's more of a consensus on in that server about this or that. Like, what kind of stuff would get you kicked off? I doubt it's
definitely. Nah, definitely. Like for real, I think it was more like they thought I were being racist or something, so they kicked me, banned me.
Yeah, well, that's great.
And it was very limited in what I was actually trying to express. You know, like, and I would try to make it clear that it was like.
Yeah, it didn't matter how clear you tried to make yourself by anything, right?
Yeah, it didn't really matter. Yeah, how clear. and it was, and I was like very clear that okay, it's not everyone, it's not the whole group, but like my experience has been X, Y, Z.
In Britain, in your life, so on and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. You can't talk with nuance and context.
yeah.
In
Like
a
it was
lot of places.
basically like it was basically like a certain contingent of foreigners in Berlin when I were living there who were creepy and would say inappropriate things
like on the
and were
street.
like acting it. Yeah, like on the street or like in public. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And they thought, okay, like I'm sort of like targeting like every foreigner or like every Arabic person. And it's like, okay, I'm not. It's like, but there is like a contingent. It's like it's not everyone, but there are like it is a problem.
Yeah.
But it didn't really like land well, and so they kicked me off.
Yeah.
Is it like you make a blanket statement, but the people you're around don't give you the good faith of, oh, they're like obviously not talking about literally every single person on the planet, because that's not practically, right to in a context.
Yeah, I doubt.
Yeah.
I doubt Olivia's just showing up and being like, "I had this experience, so it must mean,"
Yeah. It
Like,
was
which
so
should
dumb.
be obvious, but
I think they were a little bit like in the social justice kind of like hyper kind of woke kind of frame of mind.
Yeah, well, a lot it's the internet, so like it's a hit and miss whether that stuff is gonna be like a lot of servers are really hyper politicized right now that should be.
Yeah.
Like, and a lot.
And like I'm kind of woke. That's the thing that I don't get. It's like I'm pretty like forward thinking. Like I'm
Yeah, you're pretty
I'm
lefty and all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty lefty and all that. Like so, but so I just find that funny. Like.
Yeah. It's the whole issue with context nuance that I think a lot of schizoids and a lot of neurodivergent people enjoy having these sort of conversations. I remember seeing it was like an autistic guy that was talking about like I was reading a story. He was just telling a story about in college, like how, and I had stuff like that happen too in real life, where he was like trying to explain to somebody that hold on, I think I accidentally messed up where I was here. It was trying to explain to somebody how evolution and how exciting and cool human species and how diverse it is and the way it like adapted to its environments and how different peoples in different parts of the world had various features of both their body and skin and everything else be affected by the course of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years of living in certain conditions, atmospheric or environmental and stuff. And like, yeah, I guess he was like, it was like a special interest, one of their special interests, like the sort of human diversification of like genetic traits and stuff. And like, I guess he was sort of talking about that, and the person basically just thought, oh, this person's a what do they call it? What do they call that? Like not an essentialist, but like basically like making some kind of deterministic argument for like race stuff. And it's like, man. In this part, and then the autist was like basically talking to the other autists on there, like, did I do something wrong? Like, I was just interested in the subject and I thought they would find it interesting, but then like two people got mad at me. No. Yeah it's weird. I've been yelled at a few times, especially when I was going to college, for just like asking questions that involved a little more context, or asking them for more context, which is oftentimes also a big no-no. Let me see here. I'm gonna read the next one here. Okay, so went off the deep end for a little bit there. Why is this doing this? No. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. It helped me understand, Dear Angst, it helped me understand the nature of schizoid and its relation to BPD, DID, and other dissociative disorders. Okay. I now have theoretical treatments for them and consider them curable. I'm investigating a link between schizophrenia and dissociative disorders now. My hypothesis is that it is caused by genetic predisposition to compartmentalization of one's emotional core. This tracks with the negative symptoms. My hypothesis is that positive symptoms are, in fact, thoughts and imagination of the dissociated region of the brain after it gains self-awareness due to stimulation following the maturation of the prefrontal cortex. Well, there you go. So somebody's using the server to get like more info regarding Zoid behavior, and they're sort of mishmashing it into their own theories and ideas. Okay, so there you go. That's something somebody's using the server for. So that's good. Interesting. Though I question anytime I see like curable, because it's like, I don't know, it's quite a statement.
Yeah, I think the curable only goes for not necessarily. Well, maybe they can't speak to them. When I think curable, I auto translate that as in like putting a salve on issues, because
Yeah.
it's not necessarily that the thing I am is an issue. It's what the problems come because of the thing. Like, I would rather treat the symptoms of what happens in schizoid than I would at the actual schizoid. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, because there's no catch-all for this stuff, like, of any kind.
Yeah,
There's like
I'd
only
rather a salve than an antidote.
yeah, because then the various salves is anything for very specific parts, and then the person that's applying them has power over how much of what they need or use. But let me see something here. Somebody in the smile in the chat is saying that the link isn't working in the description, which is weird because it's the same one. Yeah, it should be working. All the boosts are we're still at top boosts right here. I'm fairly sure. Yep, we're still at 15 boosts. So that's the server. That's kind of important. I gotta make sure that's working because I mean, if I'm gonna be talking about the server and people decide, oh, I want to check it out, then it's kind of important that they can do that.
Yeah, the link should be working. For
Could
me.
you test it, Shadow? Did it work? Like, if you
Yeah,
clicked
I
on
just
it
did.
and it works?
It worked for me.
Yeah, I haven't changed anything, so it should work. I don't know if it's a regional thing. I don't know how any of that works. But
Well,
it's the link that says
technically, I'm a
Zoid
part
Void.
of the server, right? Like, the server's open for me, so
Yeah,
maybe
but
it's not valid because of that.
yeah, but it's the custom invite link, which is it's just the Zoid Void one, so it should work just fine. I don't know why it would take a poop like that. Um, hmm, that's odd.
What's
Okay.
the matter? Your invite link doesn't work anymore?
Well, it should. That's what's so odd. It should work because well, I mean, other people have used it plenty. So I'm not sure what's causing that issue. But hopefully it'll pick itself up. All right. So yeah, that's odd. Tell me, Smile, if are you, yeah, because you're on YouTube, so it should definitely be, and the Twitch one's the same one, so I don't know. All right. Let's see here. What's the next one we have? Okay, Dear Angst, Zoid Void has shown me that a vast number of people share the same experience as me, which helps a lot with the feelings of isolation. Chances are, if I start a casual conversation with someone on here, I'll end up having a revelation about myself at some point because of the way these discussions tend to go on the server. To me, it's better than therapy for this purpose because I don't have to spend 5 years explaining to the other person the way my brain works before we can get to the heart of the matter. I've also got solid advice on overcoming Zoid problems from people here, though I've yet to put any of it into action, which is on me. Okay, very honest on that one, but that's interesting to hear. All right, so they're getting apparently more out of it than some therapy. The only reason like I vibe with that is because like I've gotten more out of making the channel, having the server, owning the server, interacting with the server, interacting with the people I've met through that server or through the channel, communication exchanges and stuff. And yeah, I've gotten way more out of just talking to Zoids on a consistent basis than I ever have through most therapy that I've received. My psychologist is great, but most of the time, the reason there was so much progress in the last 2 years was because I kept bringing up to my psych the thoughts and reconceptualizations and everything I was going through as I was doing the process of interacting with the server and doing things. And then they helped me sort of figure out what it is I'm like feeling and experiencing, because I couldn't like quite figure it out. And so they asked the right questions, and then I was able to so on and so forth. So
What were the right questions they asked you?
It was sort of like they kept poking and prodding like ways of asking me like, okay, but what would you compare that experience to in regards to something that has nothing to do with people directly? And so then like she would ask me about other stuff that isn't people that I have some kind of emotional connection to, internal stuff, also external stuff like literature and media and stuff. And then she would ask me questions in conjunction with that, and then how the experience felt with this particular piece of information, or the relatability that I was finding in others and others that experienced the same things. And it was just a lot of questions and going around, and she had a pretty good memory, so she would remember, oh, it was similar to what you explained like 2 sessions ago about this. And I'd be like, oh yeah, because they're keeping notes and stuff. And so yeah, it was a lot of that sort of stuff. And they made sure to like basically we had a very open conversational way. So like if I didn't like the direction they were taking something, or it was incorrect or didn't apply early on, it was like kind of nipped in the bud and like, no, that's not what's happening here, let me explain, and blah blah. And over time she just kind of figured it out in combination of how she figured out how to ask me questions and how to like direct my confused emotions and contradictions in ways that made a lot more sense to me. And then I would ramble on about that, and then I would be like, in my own brain, be like, oh, that makes sense. And then I'd tell them what clicked in my brain, and they'd be like, and sometimes they wouldn't really understand what clicked in my brain, and I would have to explain to them what clicked, and then they would explain how that makes sense to them, and then it would just be a lot of that kind of stuff. And basically they were really helpful at helping me figure out what was going on. But the actual like catalysts for a lot of the progress I've made was just interacting with all you fucking weirdos on the server and people that I've gotten closer to over time. I've
been getting a lot of that too. Just interacting with people on here, just kind of realizing that the thoughts that I've had my whole life are not necessarily. I'm not alone. I'm not as alone as I thought.
Yeah, it's a pretty confusing feeling for somebody, especially if they've been alone like I was with certain things for 30 plus years. So that's especially confusing and scary and all kinds of stuff. Let me see here. Wow. Okay. Hey. Hello, Mortis. Oh, Saintus and my welcome. Let me see here. All right. Next one. Dear Angst. This one looks like it's a short one. Let's see. Nothing specific, but the Schizoid Void server had given me a whole new perspective on schizoid people compared to the endless text and recital of concepts that I have read or seen or read before. Cool. All right. So they're getting more information, apparently. And there was somebody, I'm guessing, that was decently read on the topic, psychological literature-wise, maybe online, I don't know, video-wise, whatever. And they seem to have found some good shit here. So that's good. Let's see here. Dear Angst, this is a single sentence. It's given me a place where I can speak my mind without filter, which is invaluable. All right. Well, that's good. If somebody's speaking without filter on my server and they're not breaking TOS or breaking server rules, which are, I say they're pretty reasonable considering it's like a support relatability server. That's pretty great. I hope that a lot of the schizoids feel like they're doing that, and if they are, awesome, because that means that most of them have like a decent set of like I don't know, self-imposed like morality or ethics that they follow regarding certain types of things. So, yay! That's a good sign. The server rarely has problems, and I'm guessing it's not a coincidence that it's because it's a server for schizoids. I doubt that's I doubt that's just like happenstance. I would say that most schizoids are pretty chill for the most part. Even if like other people wouldn't consider them chill, they would be, yeah, because other people might think they're weird, talk about weird stuff, or ask weird questions and approach things in weird ways. But I don't know. It's all cozy to me. Let's see here. Oh, anybody want to chime in on any of this? Just making an opening. We're good?
Yep.
Okay. Next one. Dear Angst, ever since I stumbled upon your channel, I think I was 20 or 21, I feel like I've been on a journey from your early videos, gloomy outlook on life, to gradually exposing myself and slowly but surely accepting my life for what it is. At some point, I can't quite explain it, but I blocked out my earlier memories of life, and it seemed like my entire life up until then wasn't real. Oof, I know that fucking feeling. And I question whether it was true or not. I still struggle with self-perception because on one hand, I want to live up to the expectation of my parents, but on the other hand, I want everyone to leave me alone and be by myself. Yet I'm also terribly afraid of actually being alone. I mean, when you're really alone. I've been living alone for the last 3 years, working online. Sometimes I lack human contact, but usually I don't pay attention to that and just keep working. I feel a little sad as I'm getting older because my peers or brothers are doing better than me, but does it really bother me? Question mark. Returning to the current topic, Zoe Void has helped me feel less alone in this world, knowing that there are others who experience something similar. Although all Zoids are absolutely different, there's something that unites us. Yeah, there's this that's why I like to term, because I get the community thing. It's not a bad word, you know. Like I would have cringed at that shit like a year and a half to 2 years ago. I avoided calling, like I wanted to actively avoid calling the server a community because, you know, I had negative like connotations that were stuck in my head in regards to community. Because when I think of community, I think about like a lot of that stuff that I was saying that happens on a lot of servers, like a lot of this kind of like echo chambery weird shit, and kind of weird kind of was a group thought stuff that happens on them, and but it's I feel pretty happy about how the server is, and I feel like it's living up to what I like to term it, which is a autonomous collective. So that's the part that's kind of cool. Like there's a lot of people in there that have a lot of differing views, and they share oftentimes those views, and there's a little bit of debate and conflict sometimes on certain things, but it's still like this just kind of like there's no like I rarely see any kind of like, well, I never see any kind of like ganging up on somebody. It doesn't really happen very much at all. It usually what happens is there'll be people that are like have issues with something that was said or reject an idea, and then there'll be other people that they're like, even if they're like, let's just say person A and person B have been on the server and have interacted for a decent amount of time for like a year or something, right? And then a new person shows up, and then this person has some like ideas that are kind of like oh, well, I disagree with that, right? So person A will disagree, but then person B will agree, and then person A and B will debate about the point that person C has just made. But it's kind of cool to see that they're not just like, oh, we know each other, so that means that like we agree on the same things. Kind of weird social stuff that happens a lot. They'll just disagree anyway. Like it doesn't matter how long or how friendly or maybe close they become. It's like, oh well, my opinions are my autonomous thinking, and you have yours, and that's why sometimes these friendships work, is because that space is allowed. And that's kind of hard to come by. I would say. Let me see here. I mean, I guess personal example is like, I'm good buds here with Olivia, but like me and Olivia have like like a bunch of stuff that we don't agree on, or we're like totally different on, and it's like perfectly fine. it would be weirder if like somebody started like agreeing with me as they became more, or they felt they were becoming closer to me or something, and then they just started agreeing with me more because they're like my friend now. That'd be fucking weird, dude.
I've already had like inclinations of that with some people I've met in my life.
That's not good. Yeah, like it'll be like, oh, we disagree on this, but then like when they think you're cool, and then like they're like, oh, this person's nice to me, and then they start going like, oh, well, you know what? Maybe I should rethink this now that, you know, I like you. It's like, no, stop. I mean, if you want to rethink it on your own, or you come to certain conclusions regarding my points that you want to elaborate on further, that's fine, but don't start just, yeah, I hate that shit. That's not good. That's not the autonomous collective action. Let me see here. Next one. See, I got quite a few submissions on this one, so I gotta get through them.
It's always weird when it's just like reminding someone else, hey, you know, you can have your own opinion here, right? Like,
I prefer you had your own opinion here.
Just making sure you're not forgetting that you also have an opinion.
Please don't forget.
In case you forgot.
Please don't forget just because you like me or something. Let's see here. Dear Angst, I had several pleasantly interesting interactions with Zoids soon after I joined. Nothing that changed my life significantly, just interesting, because the interactions themselves were seemed zoidy, in a way I didn't previously know existed. The one way the server significantly impacted my life was the vetting process. An independent, pseudo-authoritative opinion that I am, in fact, a schizoid was invaluable for me. It led me to investigate the subject much more deeply, which is gradually allowing me to develop a more robust sense of identity and self. It's a bigger deal than it sounds. Yeah, no, it sounds like a big deal. I wouldn't say it doesn't sound like a big deal at all. The weakness of my self-concept in the past led directly to catastrophic losses on multiple occasions. I am talking about frightening madness that took years to recover from. I have experienced similar in the past. And life-changing amounts of money thrown away for nothing. Yeah, that's called my master's degree in history that I deeply regret getting.
No, you'll use it for something someday.
No, I hate that I didn't discover that I just wanted to go into mental health stuff and help people a lot earlier in life, so that I would have gotten a degree that mattered to my work and what I'm trying to do. Let's see here. I think the Zoid Void made it more likely that I can live a long time without suffering through anything like that again. Oh, okay, like having some like years long like fucking meltdown. Yep. Well, I certainly hope that's the case, person who wrote this, and I certainly hope that things keep chugging along in a forward direction. Let's see here. Dear Angst, on this Discord server, I find people who know way more about Zoid than any normies ever care to hear about. When I complain of a difficult situation, people have similar situations and can relate and share relevant references to the books. Someone links the Zoid handbook to someone seemingly every day, and they linked it to me at least 5 times until I finally tried reading it, and it's helped me with healing immensely. There are also some interesting schizotypal or even slightly psychotic people around sometimes, and this lets me measure where on the schizo spectrum I am. I am certain now that I've been schizotypal before in my life. Also, I can sometimes catch someone who is in a way, catch someone who is in a situation that I know how to handle, and they let me advise them. Some let me know when my advice makes sense. Isn't it cool? It's super cool. Thanks for doing the server. It's really helpful. All right. Awesome. That's interesting. So I didn't think about that part about like they'll like send links to each other about stuff that they found or that they encountered that was useful, whether it's videos or a piece of writing, and that is something that I notice happens a lot. So the part that I find interesting is that it took 5 times, right, for them to actually click on the link and look at it, which I understand, because like I could see like a lot of schizoids just like seeing it and being like, oh yeah, maybe I'll check it out, and then they just forget or don't care enough. But then once they get it like 3 or 4 times for like 2 or 3 different people or something, then they're like, or they see it posted and other people reacting, going, oh, that was useful, and then that it'll start kind of like, okay, I got okay, let me look at this, like let me actually just do it, let me have some volition and do it. And I think that's great. That's great to hear, even if it takes a while. I like to see that.
I still need to read that, damn.
Well,
I never like read any hard literature, really. The hardest literature I've ever read was like maybe 15% of Greenberg's book.
Oh, you mean like straight up like psych lit?
Yeah, just actual like.
Why? I'm surprised.
I don't know.
I would think you'd find it easier to absorb than other stuff. But
It's harder to like read harder literature than it is to understand from like a symbolic story perspective. The medium in which I understand is easier if it's like
you like narrative
story format.
Narratives,
yeah,
so.
Like I'd rather like play a video game and see like a character's journey and how they overcome this fantasized and exaggerated trial, because then it just makes more sense to me than reading like, oh, this person overcame it because that emotion and in this way from a book and a site.
Yeah, you like to see whatever it is in even if it's fictional, but like a lived application.
It's just easier for me to digest it that way.
That's interesting. So like you'll read a piece of mythology and get more about the theme.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A mythology story or like a tall tale makes significantly more sense to me than.
That's why if you haven't read it, I still I don't know how much Nietzsche you've read, but I really like the Spoke Zarathustra because of that reason. It's kind of written that way. It's written like a story about like it's more written like a story about like, and a lot of the stuff's kind of symbolic, and there's like all these things happening, right? All these things and ideas that are being explored, but it's happening through this like the life of this person, this character that's been constructed. It's kind of interesting, like this kind of hermit or whatever. All right, what else we got here? Oh, we only have two more now. Dear Angst, it has allowed me to learn that I am incredibly bad at articulating information in a way which makes sense. Gathered some interesting poll data, had a couple of suspected correlations, torpedoed all to hell and back, and all throughout, the only real consensus I have is that words are hard. Words can be hard, and words are definitely hard for a lot of schizoid peeps out there. They have very, very not so fun time vocally expressing a lot of stuff in a concise way, in a way that they feel is accurate or representative of what their internal situation is. I would say more often than not, I think a lot of schizoids are better at writing and expressing their words through writing. More often than not, that's probably why so many don't use VC and stuff, because they have certain type of. I mean, they're literally like it's almost like a selective mutism. Sometimes it's sometimes like flat affect issues, stuttering, a lot of sort of like long pauses and thinking, and stuff like that they can avoid usually via text. I talked about that before, how that's like it's good and it's bad for the very person doing it, because overthinking every word that comes out of your mouth can often lead to detrimental situations, even if you think it's like better because it's more planned out and careful. Being careful can be its own curse as well, over cautiousness.
Yeah, it's a give and take. I'm pretty gung-ho barrel,
Yeah, I know you're fucking-
decisive, right? So that comes with
you
its
just
own
go like, fuck it.
qualities.
And then when you're wrong, you're like, well, I guess I'm wrong. That's it.
Well, yeah, right? Like, you figure out how to find that balance.
Yeah. You don't give a shit about being wrong. I don't
Like,
think most schizoids give a fuck about being wrong. They just want.
There was one time,
Yeah.
You might remember it. I was arguing with Withers over something, and I called out something that I believed, and I fought for it. But then I was wrong, so I was like, all right. So I guess I'm wrong.
Like, oh, I guess I was wrong. And that's it. Lesson learned. Let me see here. Trudy had said something about DID. DID groups or like servers or groups are random as fuck. Most people freaking out, asking if their symptoms are normal, and then not accepting if you say no, not really, unless you say for me anyway. But yeah, can cause drama. Those who believe the YouTube version of DID or the DSM version or the actual reality, too strange for me. LOL. Oh, yeah, I can imagine. I've heard descriptions of certain types of servers for specific types of issues that can get a little spicy, get a little like, because even if a schizoid's like, oh, I think I have a comorbidity of like this kind of, now that I'm digging up myself out of the ashes, if they try to go to a server that's for that, they're probably not going to have a very good time, for a variety of reasons. That's so weird. The link will take me to Discord and then suggest it has expired. It's not expired though. I'm not too sure. What I would do, smile if or smells. Was it, dude? I put an I there the whole time. SMLE. I thought there was an I. Wow. Brain just adding things. If you want to just do, it's a more indirect way. Just go on Discord, and look for the Zoid Void on there, and there should be a working link there as well. But
I can just drop one in.
Okay, just drop in the chat. Yeah, there we go. Oh, hey, Melee, what's up? I just noticed. Good to see you here. Still grinding the same shit, right? Good stuff. All right, let's see here. But thanks for taking a break from your current special interest to stop by. Let me see here. Next one, last one. This guy's short. Oh no, nice little short one at the end. Dear Angst, talking in the server forces me to turn my vague and abstract thoughts and feelings and beliefs into concrete words and sentences, which in turn helps me to understand them better myself. It's basically journaling, but with feedback from others. Y'all are my own personal Tom Riddle diary. It's okay.
That's how I kind of see this. And I think people are okay with that.
No, yeah, they're totally fine with that. Okay. As long as it's no. Oh, go ahead.
That is a very, very interesting way to word that.
What, y'all are my personal Tom Riddle diary?
Especially knowing the fact that the one right before this talked about wording things being difficult. That is a very interesting way to word that, and that's a very appropriate analogy, just as it happens.
Well, I don't know. I would have to ask my wife about Harry Potter shit, but I don't know what a Tom Riddle diary is. I just know it has to do with Voldemort and all that shit, or whatever. I don't know. I don't know enough about the lore. I've seen the movies because my wife has watched them a few times.
Oh, I'm gonna make so many people mad. The movies are so much better.
I don't know.
Than the books.
I couldn't tell you.
Ouch.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I've just seen the movies, and I bought my wife a pretty cool, kind of pricey version set of the Harry Potter books that had I guess the whole point of it was to have like more like adult covers, or like more like contemporary literature, kind of more mature looking covers for the books. And it's kind of cool. It's got like some pretty like surreal kind of interesting black and white art on the outside of it, instead of just like the like, you know, the normal kind of kids covers. It's got like weird skulls and snakes and like kind of like alchemical shit. It's kind of neat. But yeah. Okay. Let me see here. What am I doing? I lost track of my thoughts. Oh yeah, that's the end of reading those. So does any of you guys have like thoughts on this? Anything you want to discuss in general about the server? Olivia, Mortis, anything? Shadow's always got something to say, though. I want to double check with you guys.
Figure out.
I've not got much to say. I have just joined here so that I could eavesdrop without having Twitch randomly drop the audio every 5 seconds, so...
Oh, Twitch does that? How about YouTube?
It does. So, it does, and for one reason, and one reason only. My bandwidth is absolute total fucking ass.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope you can improve that one day for yourself.
So while Discord, for whatever reason, manages to compress its audio transmission such that it can fit under my 8 megabit per second download speed.
Wow.
Twitch, YouTube streaming, etc. don't.
Are you living in an underground bunker?
You have no idea how much I wish. No, I'm living out in the middle of BFE monopolized zone in flyover country.
Oh, well, there you go. Sounds like you
a
might...
month for 8 megabits down.
I hope...
and half a megabit up.
I hope you can find a better place to live.
Oh, believe me, I'm looking.
Good to hear. Good to hear any Zoid type peeps feeling motivated to change their environment or situation to benefit themselves in a way that's conducive to their ability to progress their self-actualization journeys. That's pretty based. I always like hearing that shit. Okay, Olivia, thoughts? Or your own maybe thoughts on the server itself and what you've encountered, or maybe they AFK'd for now. That's fine. All right, Shadow.
I feel like it's
though
been...
it's possible.
Wait, hold on. Go ahead. What happened, Mortis?
It would definitely seem as though it's possible they went AFK.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Anyway, oh, that was funny. All right. Go ahead, Shadow.
I feel like the server has been really lively in the past few months compared to when I first joined. And
yeah, there's some. It's because there's a few more extra vocal personalities, I think, that have joined over the last couple of weeks. I think that's probably that's helping. I think facilitate that. I think a little.
like, if you want my honest opinion for how useful the server's been to me, I need to sit down and jot
write me an essay.
Thoughts on an essay.
All right, well, we can do that
because
that's a lot.
There's a lot. I don't know.
There's a lot
because obviously you might remember when I first was watching your Twitch streams when you would play video games and I would be working night shifts, so I would be talking in your stream often.
Yeah.
The only one talking in your stream sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you would be fucking spamming my goddamn chat. I remember that.
Because that's just how I type. I type 3 words enter 2 or 5 words enter.
Yeah, very impulsive.
Right, but I was very vehement. How do you say that word?
Well, I guess vehement, but usually I'll hear vehemently.
It's
Vehemently? Vehemently, or yeah, there we
Vehemently.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the one. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was very vehemently. I screwed it up instantly.
Vehemently.
Vehemently against speaking when I first was
Yeah, I
watching
remember
the
that.
streams.
Oh.
And then I was also very vehemently against showing my face. And then I was also very vehemently against expressing my inner thoughts and dreams. And oh, here we are, months later, years later.
Yeah, and you've done all
Going
that
on.
shit. Like a lot.
August, maybe? What is it?
You joined like late 2022.
October.
I think.
Yeah, October 2020. So what? That's
2022, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, over a year for sure. I mean, over like no, almost 2.
Yeah, we're going on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm, getting there.
So
Don't
I
sweat it too much. As the last two both said, words are hard.
we're already way past that, mate.
No, I mean regarding pronunciation, but I was waiting for a break.
Ah, okay. I like it.
The pronunciation fail is what I was referencing there.
Yeah.
I had to like backtrack. I had to like walk 5 steps
No, yeah,
back
yeah.
to remember that one.
That's good. That's good.
But I mean, my life changes constantly anyways because I'm just a very neurotic kind of person.
Mhm.
But I've been using the server as that tool, so it's, you know, which came first, server or my neuroticism.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey for you, that's for sure. It's been fun to watch. Not much. is
Well, it's something, I guess.
true. Yeah.
But all in all, I'm grateful for it because when I first came to the server, I had recently cut off contact with literally everybody I knew.
Mm.
And it was like going on like 3 weeks of no contact with anybody save for going to my job. And I'm just like, this ain't working, man. I gotta, like, I can't just reject everything and call myself normal and coping. I need to do something. So I'm just like, all right, I saw the schizoid thing last year. Let's look stuff up about that one. And then 7th page of Google, I see you.
My ugly fucking mug right there. Yep. That's kind of
That's
what
all she wrote.
That's kind of what I've been told by other people about like how they find me. They're like, "Oh yeah, I was looking up schizoid stuff," and then you were like the 10th thing down. I'm like, "Oh, cool." It'll usually be some like old ass video of mine that has like a lot of views.
Yeah, it was very old.
Like
you
super
know,
old videos.
you're aware. I've told this story before.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna bring.
That's
it
why
up,
most
but...
people, like most new people that find my channel, like watch a video from like two years ago. I was rambling when I wasn't even showing my face yet, and they're like, "Oh man, this is crazy. I'm vibing with this," and I'm like, I don't even remember what I said. Fucking back then.
Yeah, even like now that I think about it, I can like, you know, this is gonna be really bad. I'm not gonna do too much because I know you don't like it. But even you've been changing a little bit over the years.
Yeah. Okay, now you're making it weird. You're making it weird.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go into it because obviously how you are.
You're already worrying me. You're like setting it up too much. What the fuck you're gonna say?
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Oh, good.
I was just saying I've perceived you, but I'm not gonna tell you anymore.
Cool.
Because you know,
all right,
like,
let's stop.
Knowing
Let's
how
stop
I
talking about that,
you.
please.
But
all right,
like, if I keep talking about it,
you did it. You did it. I'm proud. Okay. Let's.
Do you like how I was able to restrain myself this time?
Yeah, you did a very good job. Now let's stop talking.
You liked how I was able to restrain myself?
I wish you would restrain yourself more. Would be really cool. I would really like that.
I'm not even saying how I
No! Okay.
I'm not going
Hello, everyone. Okay.
Am I to understand then that Angst does not like being reminded he exists?
Is
that what's going on here?
I don't like being reminded that other people like have me inside like their minds in some kind of like way that is like accurate about my internal world stuff. Like, I don't know,
Thanks.
it's weird.
I have no fucking idea who you are in your own goddamn head. I can't read your mind.
Yeah, I know.
You know how I am. I can't read anybody's mind.
Yeah, you just
I feel like I'm stuck in my own mind. I can't even connect to anyone else. Fuck that.
It's like, I don't know. It's just my own.
I feel like it's a fairly common sentiment here.
No, yeah, no, for sure, it has to be a common sentiment. It's like
I've never felt like I've had issues with being perceived only because I've had a little bit of paranoia here and there.
yeah,
But
just
other than
just a
that,
little, right?
yeah, just a little.
It's
Shut up.
a tinge of paranoia.
But for me, I've never had the worry of someone can literally read my mind. I've like been so completely and utterly convinced that my mind is isolated from like whatever collective group everyone else is, that I'm like safe pretty much. So it kind of works. If only you can just convince yourself of that too, Angst, and then you could be okay with being perceived.
Stop.
I'm not even doing anything. What am I even doing now that's making you uncomfortable?
I don't know. Just stop. Stop saying the word perceive. No, I don't like that word again.
Well, if you tell me how,
you're destroying months of work right now. I'm just kidding, man.
But like,
I don't know. Whatever. Just anyway.
Month of illusory self delusion. Is that what's going on here?
If you tell me how, I know how not to. That's my point.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so couple things. A couple of other things on a side note. And I have to kind of mention this every time. If you like the work I do, if you like the channel, if you like the streams, if you like anything, if it's been beneficial to you, if the server is beneficial to you, and you want to support my ability to continue doing this stuff and focus on it and take more time, apologize, by the way, for not having more videos. It's just, like I said, I had like 2 bigger plans that kind of fell through, and that sucked. But whatever, moving past it and trying to like do some other stuff. And so if you want to support me on that stuff, on that front, please, Patreon is like, and PayPal are like the best bets possible. Don't send me money on YouTube. Twitch is fine too. Twitch subs. If you have like the Jeff Bezos Amazon Prime free Twitch sub, use it on me. That's $2 a month I get. That would go nowhere anyway. All right. Other thing, a little change I want to do to the little, because I usually watch like movies and stuff on the server usually after a stream. I'll go on this specific channel on the server and then like watch shit on there. I'm mostly gonna start just playing whatever the fuck weird ass movies I find, but instead of it having to necessarily be muted to watch it, I just don't give a fuck. People can just, it's kind of fun to hear people just kind of riff on these fucking movies, as long as it's not something that like I started thinking, I'm like, if I'm gonna directly show somebody like, because like it's a good film, I should probably just hit them up to show it to them or something, or have a different place for it, because people still want to talk and have a laugh, and I think that's more conducive to my goals, and I'm cool with that, because most of the time I'm playing like a game on one screen, and you know. But in any case, yeah, so I'm gonna be doing that in like 20 minutes or so, if anybody wants to join. I found a funny little streaming site that has like a lot of really bad looking movies, but if you want to fucking make fun of them or just laugh at them, yeah, join up or have a conversation about aspects of it. I don't care. All right, I think I'm done. Shadow, anything you want to leave us with? Anybody here want to Mortis, whatever?
No, I'm done receiving.
All right.
No, I'm still over here, actually, just thinking about how words are hard.
Okay, you keep doing that. Words are difficult at times, and I believe Olivia's still AFK, maybe. But, well, thanks, all of you for joining in. Thanks for hanging out. Anybody listening right now or watching this as a VOD, if you watch this as a VOD, leave comments on the bottom if you have thoughts. So I like getting comments in there, because
yeah,
then
he likes perceiving other people.
No, that's not what I said. I like reading other people's things and ideas because they serve me a purpose. No, I don't know. Okay. Anyway,
Taken out of context, that series of words is questionable.
They serve me a purpose.
Note
Oh.
that you like reading others' things.
Oh.
What is with you and words, Mortis? What happened? It's like we talked about words being hard, and now it's like that's all you can think about.
So, something you clearly haven't noticed about me, Shadow.
I don't perceive anybody.
So I've noticed, aside from Angst, apparently.
Ooh, burn.
Yeah, I don't know what his problem is, to be honest.
So, something you haven't noticed about me, it would seem. I collect and hoard information. One of those things is words.
Okay, well, there you go. Big fan of words. Very good.
I collect numbers. I like numbers.
I read dictionaries for fun when I was 2 and 3, and I fell asleep in an unabridged dictionary using it for a pillow when I was 1.5. So,
Alright, we're slowly getting in the fetish territory.
Anyway, all right, guys. Well, thanks for that, and thanks for joining. I'm gonna be hopping on that other section, and as usual, to all of you out there, when day is dark, always remember, happy